Every truck stop in America has an engine people still talk about like it's a person. Ask a mechanic which diesel changed everything, and you will hear the same two words over and over: Series 60. Not the newest engine, not the most powerful, but the one that, for the better part of 2 decades, sat under the hood of more heavy-duty trucks than anything else on the road. And almost nobody outside the industry knows why one engine managed to do what dozens of competitors couldn't. To understand how big a deal that is, you have to picture what trucking looked like before 1987. There was no single dominant engine. Fleets mixed and matched between mechanical diesels from Cummins, Caterpillar, and Detroit Diesel, each one fuel injected by hand-tuned mechanical pumps, each one requiring a mechanic with a very specific set of skills to keep running right. There were no onboard computers, no diagnostic codes. If something went wrong with your engine on the interstate, you found out the hard way, usually on the side of the road with the hood up. Detroit Diesel itself was in trouble. Their flagship engine, the Series 71, had once dominated the industry, holding over 40% of the on-highway market in the early 1970s. Then, in 1976, Cummins introduced its 855 Big Cam, a more technically advanced 4-stroke diesel, and Detroit's aging 2-stroke design started bleeding market share. By the 1980s, industry accounts put Detroit's slice of the market under 5%. For a company that had once been a major force in American trucking, that kind of decline usually ends one way: quietly and permanently. So, who was Detroit Diesel, and why did they get one more shot? The company started in 1938 as the GM Diesel Division, a subsidiary of General Motors built around a simple idea. Diesel engines were the future of heavy machinery, and General Motors wanted a piece of it. Through the 1940s, the division focused mostly on construction equipment and military applications, supplying engines that helped power the Allied war effort. It wasn't until 1955 that the company pivoted hard into heavy-duty trucking engines, right as the United States began building the interstate highway system. That highway expansion created a boom in long-haul trucking demand, and for a while, Detroit Diesel rode that wave. But by the 1980s, the wave had passed them by. Detroit's engineers knew that patching the Series 71 wasn't going to save the company. So they made a decision that looks obvious in hindsight and looked reckless at the time. Instead of updating the old 2-stroke design, they scrapped it entirely and started from a blank sheet of paper. The new engine would be a 4-stroke, inline 6, something none of Detroit's previous heavy-duty engines had been. To pull it off, Detroit reportedly leaned on outside expertise, with industry accounts crediting a partnership with John Deere for engineering work on components like the ring system and the cylinder heads. But the real gamble was something nobody in heavy-duty trucking had ever tried before: full electronic control. Every diesel engine on the market in the mid-1980s ran on mechanical fuel injection, a physical pump, physically timed with no computer anywhere near it. Detroit Diesel bet that the future belonged to an engine that could think. They built a system called DEC, Detroit Diesel Electronic Controls, and wired it directly into the new engine's fuel injection. For the first time, a heavy-duty diesel could adjust itself in real time, log its own performance data, and tell a mechanic exactly what was wrong before a wrench ever touched it. The engine launched in 1987. They called it the Series 60. A year later, in 1988, General Motors and Penske Corporation joined forces to form Detroit Diesel Corporation as its own standalone company. The Series 60 wasn't just a new product anymore. It was the entire bet the new company was making on its own survival. If truckers didn't trust an electronic diesel, if fleet managers saw the DEC system as an unnecessary complication instead of a breakthrough, the newly formed Detroit Diesel Corporation could fail before it really got started. That's not what happened. fleet managers who tried the Series 60 discovered something the mechanical engines could never offer: real diagnostics. Instead of guessing what was wrong with an engine, technicians could plug into the DDEX system and get an actual readout. Instead of tearing an engine apart to find a problem, they could often catch it before it became one. On top of that, the Series 60 delivered better fuel economy than the mechanical competition, at a moment when diesel prices made every percentage point of efficiency matter to a fleet's bottom line. The numbers moved fast. Detroit Diesel's on-highway market share, which had been sitting around 3% around the time the new company formed, climbed to 33% by 1993. By 1992, just 5 years after launch, the Series 60 had become the most widely used heavy-duty on-highway diesel engine in North America. An engine built by a company that had nearly been counted out a decade earlier was now the industry standard. If you're finding the story behind this engine as interesting as I do, consider subscribing. This channel covers the machines and the engineering decisions that quietly shaped American trucking, and there's a lot more of that history worth digging into. Now back to how far this one engine actually spread. The Series 60 didn't stay confined to highway tractors. Its reliability and fuel efficiency made it attractive well outside the trucking world. Marine operators put it in boats. Utility companies used it in power generators. Fire departments and emergency services adopted it for their heavy vehicles. Mining operations ran it in equipment that had to work in far harsher conditions than any interstate highway. The engine launched with two main displacements, 11.1-liter and 12.7-liter. A third, larger 14-liter version joined the lineup in 2001, eventually producing up to 575 horsepower, enough torque to handle mountainous, heavy haul routes. One relationship stands out more than any other. Freightliner, one of the largest truck manufacturers in North America, is widely reported to have built its lineup almost exclusively around the Series 60 for 2 full decades. That kind of exclusive commitment from a major manufacturer doesn't happen by accident. It happens because the engine kept proving, fleet after fleet, mile after mile, that it was worth building a business relationship around. By the time production wound down, more than 1.2 million Series 60 engines had rolled off the line. Nothing stays on top forever, and the thing that eventually ended the Series 60's run wasn't a better competitor. It was 13 years of tightening federal regulation. In 1998, Detroit Diesel and 5 other major engine makers settled a federal lawsuit over software that let engines run cleaner on paper than they did on the highway. That settlement kicked off a wave of stricter Environmental Protection Agency standards in 2004, then 2007, then 2010, each one demanding lower nitrogen oxide and particulate emissions than the last. Detroit didn't walk away from the Series 60. They kept rebuilding it. New electronic control generations, higher injection pressure, exhaust filters bolted on to meet each new rule. For over a decade, the engine survived by evolving under the hood while keeping the same name on the valve cover. It finally wasn't enough. In 2011, after 24 years and more than 1.2 million units built, Detroit Diesel retired the Series 60 for good, replacing it with the all-new DD15. But retired doesn't mean forgotten. Walk into almost any independent truck repair shop today and ask about used Series 60 engines, and you'll hear the same thing mechanics have been saying for years. They still run. Owner-operators specifically seek out trucks with a Series 60 under the hood because they trust the reliability that reputation was built on over decades of real-world use. That kind of loyalty doesn't happen with engines people consider disposable. The bigger legacy is harder to see because it's everywhere. Every heavy-duty diesel engine built today, from every manufacturer runs on some version of the electronic control architecture that the Series 60 introduced in 1987. The idea that an engine should talk to its own computer, log its own performance, and tell a mechanic what's wrong before something breaks down on the interstate. That idea wasn't standard practice until Detroit Diesel bet the company on it. Cummins, Caterpillar, and every engine builder that came after had to catch up to a standard the Series 60 set. That's the real story behind the engine truckers still talk about at rest stops and repair shops. Not just an engine that sold well for a while, but the one that changed what an engine was expected to do. The next time you see a semi-truck pull off the highway and a mechanic plugs a laptop straight into the dash, you're watching the legacy of a company that could have quietly gone out of business in the 1980s, and instead bet everything on an engine nobody was sure the industry wanted.